everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Buffy, Season 8, Issue number 36, Last Gleaming, Part 1. Take a look at these comic covers right here. Now, this is the last story arc in Buffy Season 8 before we move on to Season 9. I got both covers because, well, I mean, it's Spike. And two, it's always great to make fun of the Twilight Last Moon or Dark Moon, I don't know, the Twilight Saga. I don't read or watch those movies. Okay, but anyways, with that said, I'm telling you guys up front, for all those people that complain, this is going to be a very spoiler-heavy review. I'm going to throw down a lot of spoilers. So if you don't want this thing to be spoiled, go out and buy the issue and read it for yourself. Because it is an issue that you're probably going to have to pick up. But if you do want to know what happens, or you can't get your hands on the issue for a while, or for whatever reason you want to hear the spoilers, continue. So with that said, Buffy and Angel and Spike. They're the real reason why you buy this issue, because you want to see how Spike, Angel fit into this Buffy mess and this Twilight mess. The issue starts off with kind of a playback and a flashback to Spike and Angel, and it kind of reveals a bit of their past leading up into the Buffy Season 8. More so for Angel than Spike. It doesn't reveal too much, but it does help the reader a bit. Now, in saying that, I'm going to go into this not throwing out my opinions, because a lot of people are upset or happy or whatever with what's gone down with Angel and the whole Twilight thing. I'm not going to give my opinions, I'm just going to tell you exactly what they're doing in this. But they kind of show and they try to solidify exactly why Angel's become Twilight. And there's this voice that's talking to Angel and giving Angel this power, and it's basically saying, you know, Buffy's done this marvelous thing, but she's brought the whole world on her. She's doing it basically, she's causing too much trouble than good. You need to take her enemies and consolidate them into one enemy, so she can better protect herself. Basically, Angel, you have to be damage control for what Buffy's done. Now again, whether or not you agree with what Angel's doing or not, these are the facts. This is what the issue is trying to solidify for us. Again, nothing that we haven't already seen in the previous issues, but basically Angel accepts it, and we also find out that this is not the Shanshu prophecy. For all those people out there that are theorizing this is the Shanshu prophecy, it's not, because the voice states that these powers make the Shanshu prophecy look like shit. So it's not the Shanshu, or Shai-Shin, or whatever you want to call it. And then we get a flashback to Spike. He's on a ship, he crashes into Big Ben, and he kind of learns what's going on with the world currently right now. Again, we're not getting anything we really don't already know. Flash forward to the present, these demons that are created by this higher dimension that Buffy and Angel created are attacking the Slayers. Buffy and Angel are doing the best they can to protect the Slayers, while Spike kind of brings them all on his ship. Buffy and Angel have a nice little conversation, which is a little bit confusing, because in the conversation, Angel says he doesn't trust Spike, but Buffy says she doesn't trust Angel. But she wants to be with Angel, she loves Angel more than anything in the world, and she wants to stick with Angel. Which confuses me, because relationships should be based off trust, love, compassion, compromise, all that stuff. If you don't trust someone, how can you be with someone? But that's besides the case. She says she wants to be with Angel, and she's pretty much chosen Angel over everyone else. Again, facts, whether you like it or you don't. She also says that, you know, Angel's done some shitty stuff, and he knows he has, and he doesn't regret it because he did it for what he believes is a better good, but Buffy doesn't quite believe that. She tells Angel that he should stay back, fight these demons, give them some time to escape, and make up for what he's done by saving all the Slayers that do not make it onto the ship. So wait. We're not getting a complete whitewash of Angel's character and forgiving him for what he's doing, but if he saves as many Slayers as he basically allowed to die, then it's all good. Not quite feeling that. At least that's the impression I got. Buffy goes onto the ship with Spike. Spike tells her that she screwed up by making this higher dimension with Angel, and this higher dimension is going to come back and bite her in the ass. In addition to that, they need to go back to Sunnydale to get the seed. Which I forget exactly what they called it. If you give me a second, I can tell you. But they have to go back to Sunnydale, and they have to get the Seed of Wonder. They go back to Sunnydale, and the last page is a picture of the Master with this orb, or this seed. And if you don't know who the Master is, he was the big bad from Season 1 that got staked by a really big beam, and then his bones destroyed. So how he's back to life, I'm not quite sure, but whatever. Anyways, with that said, that's basically the issue. Let's get into the good, the bad, whether or not you should get it. And this is really going to be actually my opinions right now. Well, they really kind of expanded what they've done with the previous issues. They give a little bit more light to what's been happening. But up front, in an interview at Comic-Con, I forget exactly who it was, Scott, what's his name? I forget his name, Scott something. He basically said, a lot of stuff with Spike is not going to be revealed right away. And a lot of stuff with Angel is not going to be revealed right away. This is going to be a little bit slower progression going into Season 9, which you can kind of see here. There was huge uproar with fans on exactly how Angel was portrayed during the Twilight story arc, which I agree Angel was portrayed really out of character. I can see him kind of doing something like fighting the better good and being damage control, but it still feels as though they're trying to cover up what Angel's done. They're saying, you can't tell Buffy, you really have to protect Buffy by hurting Buffy. Basically in that sense. You have to be damage control, which is exactly what they're doing here. They're trying to damage control what they did with Angel. It's something that they should have done in the first place. I think they were going for shock value, but I think they underestimated how much people love the character of Angel. Me being one of them. But the fact of the matter remains is Angel is they're trying the best they can to rectify what they did with Angel. So I do have to give credit because they are doing that, and they're not just whitewashing and forgetting what happened. Buffy's kind of forgiven him, but everyone else doesn't trust him, and he needs to go and make up for what he's done. I still don't like the fact that they've gone this way with Angel, but at least they're trying to fix it. Whether or not they do it, we'll see. The Spike stuff is still kind of out there, whether or not what's exactly happening. I like Spike being introduced, and I like the reactions everyone has to him. Spike always has some funny moments in there, in the comic, as he does with all the stuff that includes Spike. And again, not much of the story was revealed. I felt as though throwing the Master at the end really was more shock value than anything, because when I saw it, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I kind of thought, but it's like, really, you got to do something really interesting to make this work. On the whole, whether or not this is good or you should pick it up. It's an improvement over the last story arc. The last story arc felt like a complete mess. The writing was solid in this. They tried their best to continue to repair Angel's character, which is something they're going to have to do for the fans. Buffy was portrayed okay in this, but still portrayed kind of like a teenage idiot. I don't like how Buffy's been portrayed in the last couple story arcs. They portray her kind of more stupid than she is, kind of naive. Spike is probably the best character portrayed here, although Angel works pretty well. On the whole, this is a good issue. It's a quick issue, though. I know all the issues are pretty much the same pages, but you'll read through this fast. But I probably would go with the story arc because it's the last story arc of the series. So, with that said, Last Leaving Part 1, I do recommend picking it up. They're trying to fix the stuff that they screwed up in the last story arc, but whether or not they'll do that, we'll see. So with that said, until the next issue of Buffy, this is Andrew saying peace out for now.